Hey, Deserve listeners, I'm going back and rewatching the season, knowing what we know now. Let's watch.
Patients are like,
No, not at all. And so I'm like,
The way you pull that mask.
what he's been telling me is everything's perfect. But like, really? Is everything really perfect?
I mean, like, that's the only thing. That's,
come on.
No, that's the only thing
How is
that.
it perfect?
No, that's the only thing that, like, we haven't come across anything. So, of course, that's scary where it's like, when are we gonna find a hurdle? Like, we haven't.
So Colleen has been basically saying to Cole that everything's great with Matt and she doesn't regret anything. Cole keeps trying to, get that out of her that she doesn't, that she has reservations about being with Matt, but she's not saying anything along those lines.
She's an amazing girl, but like, we do have like a physical connection, but it's not, like I said, it's not like the first, like, she wouldn't have been the first girl I picked out if I just was based on this
Like,
fool.
in a room. Yeah. Who would your initial type be? Really?
Yeah, it's pretty awful. I mean, if you want to break up with Zanab, fine. But even if you wanted to break up with Zanab, you don't want to be openly hitting on someone else's fiance. Or you would really want to be careful about it, or you'd want to go about it in a different way. But yeah, he's pretty openly hitting on Colleen in this moment. And he would claim that he was kind of pushed into this, that everyone was asked these questions, but I would suspect he's the only one doing this sort of stuff. I mean, I didn't react to it. Bartise was kind of doing this to Raven earlier at the pool situation, but it's not nearly as bad as this. Although it was in that direction, what Bartise was doing.
Based on this
Like,
fool.
in a room. Yeah. Who would your initial type be? Really? For sure, like, you would be the person who I would go to in a bar.
Yeah, and at the time, we're thinking Colleen, but in the interviews, and I think that it's credible that she is saying, I was just being nice in this moment. Like, he was saying that he was into me, and I didn't know what else to say, and so I thought I should reciprocate, and I could see that. Now, of course, I think Matt, and including Colleen, would say that that's a problem that Colleen has. I think Colleen identifies that for herself, that she is too pleasing, and she should have just drawn a boundary with Cole in this moment. And, the relationship with Matt, they have an issue about this moment later on.
I'd approach you in a bar too, by the way.
Yeah.
We'd approach each other.
Yeah.
Are you at all mad at me from the pods? Or, like,
No, not at all.
I knew that I would be physically attracted to you, but I was like,
It was hard for you to say no to me.
Yeah. So she is just playing along. He's giving a lot of energy that is not only just, because it's one thing to be like, wow, I mean, seeing you, wow, I mean, you're attractive, or I would have gone for you in a bar. That's what he's, but he seems to be saying something as he's saying something, you know what I mean?
like,
Yeah.
I know you're cute.
It is very interesting.
I know, it's weird.
And yes, you would be someone in the real world.
Yeah, I don't think, knowing what I know about Colleen, that in this moment she was hoping that something would grow between her and Cole. I think she's just playing along. And I think if she could go back in time, she wouldn't have played along. But I think for him, he's sending a lot of vibes, almost trying to suss out, hey, what do you say you and I get together? I mean, I don't know that, but seeing it now, it seems like, at the very least, I think he's trying to say, I don't think I should be with Zanab, and I think I should be with you, is what he's saying.
Can we get another drink? Colleen is stressful for me.
And I think Cole is receiving her playing along and interpreting it as a reciprocal indication that she wants to be with him too. I think the way that he was responding, I don't know that, but it seemed that way. When in reality she doesn't want to be with him, she wants to be with Matt, and so it points in a direction of an assumption on his part or a way he sees the world or something.
Zanab, and I've said no to Colleen, and I have to trust and respect my gut with that because I did that for a reason, but Zanab is the girl I emotionally connect with. Colleen's the girl I physically connect with. Where's the in between, you know? And so I'm over here like trying to physically fall in love with Zanab, and it's tough. I'm already physically in love with Colleen.
Yeah, I forgot the specific words he used. I'm physically in love with Colleen. He keeps saying Colleen. She pronounces it Colleen. So yeah, that's pretty awful. And I think he cringes at it. But in the interviews, I don't think he fully appreciated how cringy it is. Yeah, but he definitely cringes at it.
With where's the in between, you know? And so I'm over here like trying to physically fall in love with Zanab, and it's tough. I'm already physically in love with Colleen, and so it's like, where is the perfect girl?
Yeah, in a real world, there's nothing wrong with this. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm into Zanab for some things, but not others. And I'm into Colleen for some things and not others. I guess neither one of these individuals is my soulmate. I could date either one casually for a while, but they don't have all the boxes checked. Fine. But on the show, you have to go to the altar. But this is pretty different than what he has been telling Zanab in person. And if Zanab were to hear about this or see it or something, like, she should be concerned. In fact, if I were Zanab's therapist or friend, or not therapist per se, well, if I was Zanab's therapist and I saw this, which would be really weird, I would have a particular way of talking with her about it. But if I were Zanab's friend, I'd be like, you have to break up. Like, he is not into you. He's into your emotional life, whatever, but this is too much of a liability. You cannot you can't bank on this relationship given what he just said. There's no harm, no foul. He's not feeling it with you, and it's too much of a risk. Because it'd be one thing if he's just like, you know what, I'm just not really feeling it, but who cares? Because I really just want to be with Zanab. You can't have it all. That's a different way. He's saying, I'm still looking. He's literally like, where is the perfect woman? He is saying he does not want to be with Zanab in this moment. And I suspect that a big part of him had concluded this even prior to this pool situation. But he fought it or suppressed it or tried to work on it, and it just didn't work, is my guess.
Girl, something ridiculous. And then I asked you to rate me.
I was like, you're a 9 out of 10. And then you were like, is there anyone here who you think is a 10 out of 10? I was just like,
yeah, Colleen.
I was like, maybe one person.
No, you said 2 people.
Stop.
Raven.
We've been over this. We don't need to go over it again. But this is an important scene that I just wanted to include in this series.
And Colleen, which, come on, duh. But still, though, super shitty to hear.
And I gave you a 9 out of 10. Do you realize I give 80% of the women in the world?
Yeah, that sounds pretty pompous, but at the very least, it's unaware of what one should say to anyone, regardless of gender, and particularly to Zanab in this moment. There are so many other ways to respond, right? And you could argue that he's just being honest, but I don't know. I think that it's inconsiderate to say that without following it up with something, right? Without saying, if you want me just to react objectively if you were in a lineup and I didn't know any of you, then yeah, da-da-da-da. But that doesn't mean anything to me because I want to be with you because I don't know those other people. I'm attracted to you and you're the full package and da-da. So yeah, he doesn't say those things, I don't think. It's possible, though, that he also doesn't really believe them because he has major questions about not wanting to be with her. And in the real world, he would stop dating Zanab, but because of the show, he has to stay with her or is pressured or feels like he has to or something.
Less than a 7, I gave you a 9 out of 10, okay.
A 9 out of 10. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my fault because I asked you to rate me. That's all on me. Those are just self-esteem issues, babe, that I have to work through. That's fine.
Yeah, in the moment, she rolls with it pretty well. The way she responds, she's like, those are some self-esteem issues that I'm going to have to work on, and it's fine. But it's probably not fine. It's probably really getting to her. There's a possibility that for her, she also has a large part of her that is done with the relationship and doesn't care to let him in on how she's affected by things and is either just cataloging because she wants to blast him eventually, or she's just doesn't trust the relationship enough to be able to communicate directly with him, and is cataloging because it's natural to do so sometimes when you're in a situation like this. And then by the time the wedding came around, she's like, you know what? I have a lot of things cataloged that I've been stuffing down. I'm going to let him have it.
It's fine. I'm good. It's really crappy to hear that the man you love and the man...
Yeah, and I think it is pretty telling, his response. You know, she says, I have a self-esteem issue. It's just, I'm just going to deal with it. It's okay. And the fact that he just kind of stares at her without caring, without showing some consideration, I think says something about their relationship. One interpretation of this is literally upon the first day of meeting each other and having, or I guess it would be the second day, they decided they were going to go to war against each other. And they were not going to give in, and they were going to not be overtly problematic, but they weren't going to hold back the truth, so to speak, and were open, or were subtly being hostile with each other. It kind of looks that way to me.
You to rate me. That's all on me. Those are just self-esteem issues, babe, that I have to work through. That's fine. It's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think I saw this in the original watch through. Why wouldn't he say something in that moment? Why wouldn't he try to be reassuring? I'm guessing in his mind he's like, well, she said she was good, and I was just being honest with her, and she asked me to do it. So, but you would think, given Cole's demeanor and given regular people's demeanors, when they care, they'll try to adjust. They will try to reassure or something, if it's within one's heart.
Oh yeah, I'm physically attracted to this girl. You're a 9 out of 10. But she's a 10 out of 10. I just don't know if other women would receive that better than me. Maybe I'm very irrational, but I absolutely hated hearing that.
Yeah, okay. So she's more honest with the interview. She is, and I don't think she believes that. I don't think she believes she's irrational. She's like, maybe I'm irrational. I don't think she believes that. I think she thinks she's being absolutely rational. And I think there's nothing wrong with being hurt by that, obviously. There's nothing irrational about that. But there is a healthy way of approaching that and an unhealthy way. Also, there's pressure on this relationship to stay together because of the show. So there's that. But yeah, so she says she's good with it, and then just minutes later when she's giving an interview, she's like, it devastated me. You know, so that's what he would call bipolar. That's not bipolar. It's just two different presentations. Two-faced, confusing, whatever, not bipolar.
I don't like you when you're mad.
It just makes me question a lot about how he feels about me and the relationship we have. Maybe it goes back to my insecurities, but it's just not something that sits well with me at all.
Yeah, so you hear her saying, maybe I am insecure, but it doesn't sit well with me. So it says that I think she knows to some extent what's going on with her and to own her own issues. But I think I don't know, but if I was to take a guess, I would say they're past a certain threshold where they're both not really trying to communicate. She's not telling him what's really happening for her, and he's not really telling her. Or he is, but in this way that he could deny being mean to her. He's like, well, you asked me, so I told you. Instead of really trying to win her over and really trying to take care of her insecurities. You know, he doesn't seem to be putting any effort into that, at least in this scene.
It's like there's always going to be other girls and all that.
100%.
What's going to matter is that, like, you know that I've chosen you. I 100% choose you over everyone else. I'm ready to put a ring on your finger.
Right.
Like,
it's
that's
not
all
necessarily over the everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so that's not terrible for him to say. It could be very reassuring, but I wouldn't be reassured by that because, okay, you chose, but why? You know, do you want right now to be with me? What's going on? What's in your heart? I don't want to hear about a choice you made a while back before you saw me. I want to hear about what you want right now. So, yeah. And then she says, you know, it's not about that. And I think that That's what I would say if I were in her shoes too.
100% choose you over everyone else. I'm ready to put a ring on your finger.
Right.
Like,
It's
that's
not
all I'm
necessarily
saying.
over the everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you have any desire to build with anyone else?
No. But I think Colleen's attractive.
Ugh. That's so bad. So she's lobbing it over the plate of just like, do you want to build with anyone else? And, you know, that's a good question. That would cut to the heart of it of, okay, fine, you might consider other people to be attractive, but are you wanting to be with those people? Or do you want to be with me? Are you wanting to build with me? And yeah, that's absolutely one of the questions you could ask to get at the heart of the matter, to meet your needs. And then immediately he says, but I find Colleen to be attractive. I mean, either he is oblivious to how humans work, which I think is possible, or he is either subtly trying to communicate something consciously or unconsciously. I don't know. Let's rewatch that.
Do you have any desire to build with anyone else?
No. But I think Colleen's attractive. So is everyone here. So is Brennan. So is SK.
And then I think he tries to recover by saying Brennan is also attractive. How is that relevant to answering that question? You know, like, I think I said this the first time. Imagine my wife asked me today, do you want to build a relationship with me? Do you want to continue to build a relationship with me? And I responded by saying, yes, but I think your sister is hotter than you are. Like, okay, why are you telling me that now? How is that relevant? It would alarm someone if you heard someone say that in that juxtaposition. So, and then I think he tries to recover by, well, but I think everyone's attractive. You know, Brennan's attractive. You didn't say Brennan. You didn't say, yeah, I want to build a relationship with you, but I think Brennan is attractive. That's not what you said.
Everyone is good looking here. Everyone knows Colleen's hot. Shocker. Do I have feelings for her? No. Would I ever marry her? No. Would I marry you? Yes. She's a great looking girl.
Yeah, I remember this the first time. He just keeps hammering on it. It's like, Cole, shut up about it. But I don't know if I saw this the first time. I think he's actually struggling with something, and I think he is, like I said, either subconsciously communicating something or consciously trying to communicate something. He's like trying to get it out because he can't hold back, but he can't say it directly, so he's saying it indirectly, passively.
I can't change that. But I don't have any feelings for her. Like, we don't mix at all conversationally. I don't know what to talk to her about. It's like, it's just not there.
Got it.
At all.
Then why are you talking about her? Why do you keep bringing her up? Yeah. I mean, that would do a number on a lot of people, but I think particularly for Zanab, it's doing a number on her.
Thanks for the honesty. I appreciate it. Not great to hear, but
Thank you.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
If you think I'm confused about who I'm with, then that's not the case.
Yeah, and then to his face, she's like, thanks for the honesty. But I don't think really she's thanking him for the honesty. Or maybe a part of her is thanking him for the honesty, but I don't think this is actually going over well with her, as evidenced by the interview that she gives.
I'm not confused
Okay.
at all about who I'm with.
I agree that it's real.
Upon rewatching, I don't know if he knows himself well enough to say that. I'm not confused. I don't think he's not exhibiting someone that is not confused.
It's very clear, Cole, for me. I don't doubt that there are feelings between us at all.
Okay, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself and take care of others because we all deserve it. We really, really do.